Proponents of the reproductive health bill express confidence they have enough support among 238 House members to get the bill off the ground. Still, House members say they are open to a dialogue with sectors critical of the measure. Just how much can they count in from these discussions? We get the answer from one of the proponents of the controversial measure, Iloilo 1st District Representative Janet Garin. Ma'am, good evening.
Good evening.
All right, let's go first to how is the bill doing now? We've heard it on the news for a long time. We know that debates are still ongoing. But what is the exact status of the measure?
Well, it's on second reading. We're now in the period of debate and interpellation. So
how long has it been there?
It has been there probably for more or less a month. And the good thing about this is the first time that the reproductive health bill was brought on the floor for plenary debate and interpellation. 13th Congress, we just had it up to the period of sponsorship.
Okay. And what's going on? It's been going on for a month. There's a lot of interpellation being raised against it.
Well, there were 33 members of Congress who signified their intention to ask questions. That means to interpellate. And the first one was, of course, Congressman Raul Del Mar. But most of them have backed out. Congressman Raul Del Mar has been repeatedly asking the same questions for several sessions. I can't recall, but I would estimate it at about 3 weeks. So he was repeatedly asking the same questions, and we were tolerating the fact, even despite the fact that he has lapsed his time. So the next member of Congress to interpellate, who is now also is probably interpellating now in Congress, is Congressman Roy Lugoles. The problem with the period of debate and interpellation is that some members of Congress who are against the bill have resorted to delaying tactics, or shall we call it shall we call it dirty tactics to delay discussion of the bill by questioning the quorum. So that is something that we are quite surprised of, because they keep on saying that there is a democratic way of legislating. But if they can sense that as the hours lag, because they keep on repeating the same questions over and over again, sometimes even irrelevant to the bill, because they would focus on how the bill was passed. So what happens is that they question the quorum, and of course most members of the Congress will either be in their respective constituencies or in their office working, or they have had prior commitments. So when the time lags, there will be no majority can be called upon. I mean, just last night.
But when you keep on questioning the quorum and technicalities such as that, doesn't that remove time from real discussions on the substance of the bill?
It does. It does. That's why I'm calling it a way of avoiding discussion. And this is something that surprises us, because our colleagues who are against the bill kept on saying that we don't have the numbers, but they would avoid actual voting on the floor by merely questioning the quorum and by delaying the discussion by repeatedly asking the same questions all over again.
So how long do you see that continuing?
Well, we are tolerating them until probably the end of this month, but we are discussing it with the co-sponsors of the bill. And hopefully after we have given them enough time to ask questions, we would insist on a votation.
Okay. Maybe it's also interesting to know that while that's happening on the floor, is you've also been open to calls for a dialogue by certain sectors critical of the measure.
We have been continuously open for dialogues. In fact, even during the 13th Congress and the 14th Congress, we have accepted comments, amendments, especially those against the bill. However, we have observed a persistent behavior wherein we negotiate with a group of religious leaders, and if we have arrived at a decision, then they will not be representative, because they consider themselves independent from each other. That is our problem, and that is our predicament. We do not know whom to deal with, whom to talk to. Now, we were so happy when we saw that statement, the press release. I don't know if it was a press release.